Okay, hi, I'm Jackie Chivers. I'm the Director of Athena Counselling Services in Swansea in the UK, and I trained in the trauma recovery protocol in 2013, in the spring of 2013. And my professional background is that I'm an integrative therapist with training in focusing oriented psychotherapy, which is a body psychotherapy, and a number of other modalities. I specialise in sand tray and in trauma. Yes, I made 4,500 miles plane trips to the States to undertake the training, and I did that because I was looking all around the UK to try and find something that would recognise the skills that I already had as a therapist, and where I could learn something that was practical to use with clients in a way that would be kind of set down. So the protocol part was really important to me. I'm very aware that it's easy to re-traumatise or overwhelm a client if you move too fast, so I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that the work that I was doing was safe. And when I researched the trauma therapy training online, what was available, this just felt like it was the right thing to do. So I went to my boss and said, can I please go to the States and do this training, and we'll see how it goes and maybe I can bring it back. And he said yes. So they paid for me to go, and I went to the training, and it was the best training I've ever done in my life. Well, from a therapist perspective, the training was great. It was 50% practical. I could ask questions when I wanted. I got to deal with things that I got to experience things that I hadn't experienced before. I learned a safe way of working with clients, and I was able to implement it and practice it in between going on the training. So that was really important to me, that I could practice, go back, learn a bit more, practice, go back, learn a bit more. I know that on the majority of workshops or trainings that people do, the skills that you learn actually aren't integrated because you don't get the opportunity to practice and go back. So that was important, and that was something that was that worked very well with this training. From a client perspective, it's been absolutely amazing. The first thing that I had happen was a car accident whilst I was there, and I worked with the trainer on that day to deal with the issues that were coming up in my body because I was slightly overwhelmed. It was only later that I realised that during the work I'd had this experience of tightness in my chest, and as I felt that, it felt both benevolent and scary at the same time, and it was a real pressure, like something was holding me really tight, and I didn't know what that was. But I felt very young, and I came home and said to my parents what had happened, and they said, well, you were in a car accident when you were 8 months old, and my mum said, I had to hold you so that you didn't go through the windscreen. And it made sense of the experience that I'd had, even though I was actually working in the beginning with the car accident that I'd had actually in the States. That's where the containment took me back to. And I got back then, after that, a real sense of joy about driving. So I drove from Denver down to Santa Fe by myself, and this is a Brit talking, yes, who's not used to driving on the other side of the road in a foreign country, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. And I don't think that would have been able to happen had I not done this therapy. I would recommend this training to every therapist who needs a way of working with trauma. Anybody that hasn't been specifically trained in trauma needs to do this training. It's absolutely brilliant, and the facilitators will answer your questions. They will make sure that you are doing it in the right way. They'll guide you and mentor you through the 4 months that you're doing the training, and they will make sure that you're doing the work in the way that it needs to be done.
Is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience? Any final thoughts?
Just that I very much appreciate the Trauma Recovery Institute and the trainers, and also all the people that I met whilst I was there, because they were so fun and really enjoyable. I had a great experience each time I went, despite the car accident. I love Denver. I love the Trauma Recovery Institute, and I love Serge and Mike. So, absolutely brilliant. Thank you.